Yo, what is up, guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So, a quick preview for Billy Joe Saunders versus Martin Murray. I think I'll actually preview the whole card as well. But this fight goes down on the 4th of December, and obviously, this fight is being promoted by Matchroom Boxing. It is going to be for the WBO Super Middleweight title, which is held by Billy Joe Saunders. Now, the public reception to this fight is lukewarm at best. A lot of people really aren't feeling this fight, and quite frankly, I feel the same way. You know, I see this as another gimme fight, another safe fight for Billy Joe Saunders. At this time, we want to see Billy Joe Saunders in the big unification fights or against the elite contenders, and Martin Murray does not represent that. Martin Murray is a guy who once was a good contender at middleweight back in the day. Really tough guy. He was a genuine top 10 guy at the time, but he's long past his best. He's shot, in my opinion. And yeah, he's just seen better days, Martin Murray. So a really poor opponent as far as I'm concerned. And it's even more frustrating when you consider John Ryder was actually available for Billy Joe Saunders' opponent, but they've gone with a safe route and gone with Martin Murray. So it's disappointing. I expect Billy Joe Saunders to really win this fight comfortably. Box round Martin Murray, use that footwork, use that southpaw advantage, keep Martin at arm's length. And yeah, I just expect Billy Joe to win this on points. It's one of those fights where you're convinced that you know the outcome. You couldn't really see Billy Joe stopping Murray, and you certainly can't really see Martin Murray stopping Billy Joe or even beating him on points. You just can't see it in this one. And also stylistically, Martin Murray at his best wasn't always the most fan-friendly fighter. So yeah, I think this is going to be one of those bore-fest points decision wins for Billy Joe Saunders. The only thing for Martin Murray going into this fight, this time he really does know it's last chance saloon. Martin Murray, this is actually his 5th attempt at a world title, and it's certainly going to be his last. So maybe that motivation in itself is going to make him dangerous, but at that point you're really clutching at straws if that's what you're clinging on to. So yeah, another safe fight for Billy Joe Saunders. Again, he's been very inactive in the past year. Obviously, we know what's been going on, but still just a real horrible fight as far as I'm concerned. Like I said, I would expect Billy Joe to win on points. Hopefully, he can make it entertaining, put on a show, and make a statement. But I really don't see it happening. And also, as Billy Joe at 168, for me, he's not really impressed me at all. The fight where he won his title against Shifat Isafi, he got hurt in that fight, looked a bit sluggish to me. And his last fight in America against the Argentinian, again, he was losing multiple rounds in that fight, and he had to pull out a late stoppage to win it. I think he was losing that fight on the cards. So Billy Joe at 168 alone, to me, he doesn't look great in my opinion at 168. I think Billy Joe is an ill-disciplined middleweight. He needs to go back down to 160 and fight the likes of Andrade, Golovkin. That's who he should be fighting. 168 to me is not Billy Joe's natural weight class. And yeah, I don't see this fight with Martin Murray really being anything special. And that's all really I can say about this main event. Just a really uninspiring main event. That's how I see it anyway. I like Martin Murray. I've got nothing against him. He's a hard worker. He's had some bad luck in the past. He should have been a middleweight world champion. I felt he clearly beat Sergio Martinez in Argentina. That would have been a massive win, but it was taken away from him. And even the Felix Sturm fight was very close. Certain judges would have scored it to him. So Martin Murray's been unlucky. He's been a trier. He's been a grafter. He's very tough. I don't dislike the guy, but reality is he shouldn't be fighting for a world title at this stage. You know, back in 2018, he lost to Hassan and Dam, who himself back then was past his best. That's the level Martin Murray's at right now. So there we go. Poor main event by Sky and Matchroom. But let's have a look at the card quickly, because quite frankly, I don't actually know how this card is. I'm not sure who's fighting who on the undercard. So we have James Tennyson versus Josh O'Reilly. I actually know about this fight. This fight here is actually a WBA lightweight eliminator. I'm not sure whether it's a final eliminator or just like a semi-final eliminator, but it is some sort of eliminator. James Tennyson is a really, really fun domestic fighter. He hits really hard, got good punching power, he's aggressive, he comes to fight, and yeah, he's a good TV fighter, James Tennyson, so I am looking forward to seeing him. But Josh O'Reilly, I mean, I like to call myself a hardcore boxing fan, but I've never seen Josh O'Reilly fight. He's based out of Canada, I believe, and he's 16-0. When we look at his record, I mean, his record really doesn't show you anything special. I mean, look at the guys he's beaten to get this WBA eliminator. I mean, he's beat nobody of any note at all. So again, that doesn't really fill you with any confidence that he's going to go in there and really pose too many problems. Maybe he's one of these guys who is a diamond in the rough, but I don't really see it personally. He's rated 130 on BoxRec. He's beat nobody, so yeah, the fact this guy's in the WBA eliminator is a bit questionable to say the least, but what can we say? What can we say? James Tennyson, fun fighter, but you know, the opponent, maybe we should expect better. Zach Parker is on the card, who's quite fun himself, but he's fighting Cesar Nunes again. That fight's really uninspiring, isn't it? When you look at it, not interested at all. You've got Shannon Courtenay versus Dorota Norek. Again, I'm not a fan of female boxing, so that's not for me. Let's have a look at Dorita. Let's see what she looks like. Let's have a look at what she looks like. Nah, not for me. Not for me. We have Lerone Richards making his Matchroom debut in an 8-rounder. That's fair enough. He's not fought in a while. He's just signed with Matchroom. I don't begrudge him having a tune-up fight before he steps up. That's fair enough, but again, nothing interesting. You've got the featherweight prospect Dante Dixon. He's actually taken some sort of step up against Angelo Dragone. Dante Dixon is actually managed by Billy Joe Saunders. He's a bit of a prospect, so we'll see what Dante looks like. I'll be looking forward to seeing him fight. And also you've got Lewis Edmondson fighting John Telford, in which is another step up when you look at the records. So I'll be interested to see him as well. But all in all, when you look at this card, it's really nothing special. And yeah, it's one of those cards where you wouldn't really care if you miss it or not. And yeah, quite frankly, this weekend, when you look at Matchroom and Queensbury or Frank Warren, however you want to say it, Frank Warren clearly has the better card this weekend. I mean, if you look at Frank Warren's card on the Saturday, on the 5th of December, his card actually is pretty decent in my opinion for a regular BT card. You've got Lyndon Arthur versus Anthony Yard for the Commonwealth Light Heavyweight title. That's a really good fight in my opinion, a really fun fight. You've got Willie Hutchinson, a big prospect in the UK, taking a big step up against Lennox Clark. Lennox Clark is very tough, he's very durable, he's aggressive. That's going to be a big test for Willie Hutchinson. That's a good fight. And also you've got Michael Ramablasta versus Chris Bourque. Now on paper, Ramablasta doesn't have a great record, but he's one of those journeymen who is better than his record indicates. That's a decent little test for Chris Bourque. Chris Bourque can hit a bit, he's got decent power, but yeah, in my opinion, the BT card this weekend is clearly better than the Sky card, in my opinion. But yeah, I guess that's my preview for Billy Joe Saunders versus Martin Murray. In essence, nothing really to write home about, nothing really exciting on that card, and a poor main event. What else can I say? There we go. Share your thoughts below. It's been your guy Del Boy.